Hey, what's going on, guys? Here's another video. This is my 10,000 Russos collection. 10,000 Russos is a band from, I think, Portugal, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Portugal. And they started in 2013 with a demo. They play space rock, like Krautrock, or like a mix of that, and like some psychedelic rock. So it's a very trance-inducing band, and the first demo is very good. Or it's a good start. The first song's very good. I don't think they ever released that on physical format. It's an enjoyable listen. It's a good introduction, so I'd give that like probably 6.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. But then after that, in 2015, they released their first full length, which is the self-titled. I had this on CD. I love this album. I actually pretty much every song on here is like really, really good. Carl Burns specifically is really good. Us Versus Us. Barreiro is instrumental. Baden's very good. And then the last song's good. There's some moments where it kind of drags on a bit, but as a whole, this is a very, very solid first release. Just again, like very trance-inducing, minimalist, bass-driven, with lots of really awesome atmospheric leads and like kind of spoken word vocals. So yeah, I'd give this an 8.5 out of 10. I really like this album. And then after that, in 2016, they released a two-song split with The Oscillation, who's another great band. Or I guess, I mean, two songs as in both the bands have one song each. The 10,000 Russos side is pretty good. It's not one of my favorite songs by them, but it's worth listening to. I have this on blue vinyl. I think it's still available at Fuzz Club, if I'm not mistaken. And the Oscillation side is pretty good, too. It's not bad. Oscillation is a very good band from, I think they're from Britain. And they're another Psychrock band. I only have a few releases by them. They have a lot of releases, including, like, different kind of offshoot, like, remix albums and shit. But, yeah, as a whole, it's a pretty good split. I don't listen to it all the time, but it's worth a listen. I'd probably give this another like 6.5 out of 10. So then after that, in 2017, they released Distress, as the song goes, the last song. Yeah, the last song, the bass line for that is written by the guy from Singapore Sling, which is another great fucking psych rock, like kind of rock and roll league, very filthy band from Iceland, Singapore Sling. They're fucking awesome. But yeah, no, this is a really, really good album. It sounds different in production from the first full length. Like the songs are a little bit, I guess, not kind of, it's just the production's really different. But I love the first song, Germinal. Totalitarian is really good. ISM. Europa, again, pretty much every song on here is amazing. It's more trance-inducing, repetitive, again, very atmospheric due to the guitar effects and shit like that. It's not as bass-driven as the first album is what I want to say. But, yeah, it's a great album. I don't know if I like it quite as much as the first album, but I'd probably still give this an 8 out of 10. And then after that, they did a split, or no, a collaboration album with Radar Men from the Moon. I don't own that. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It's kind of like background music. Radar Men from the Moon, again, I think they're from Britain, if I'm not mistaken. They're kind of a hit or miss band for me. Like, some of their stuff is good. I like the Echo Forever album, but largely it's pretty so I didn't really expect that much. And yeah, it's all right. I don't need to, like, own it. So I'd probably give that, like, a 5.5 out of 10. But then after that, in 2019, they released Compromat. And, yeah, this album's really fucking awesome. Easily the best production they've ever had, I'm pretty sure, unless you count the album after this. But thus far, this is the best production they have. It's an interesting album. The first song is very synth-based. It's very, very dancey, but it's just as hypnotic as, like, their previous work. And then Runnin' Escapin' is like one of my most listened to songs, like, period, for like the past like probably 4 years. Like the production complements that song so well. Like, it's so well produced, and the bass line really sticks out, and that's really what inspired me to like start writing music on my own, because I've only always had like a bass, and I've always kind of just been more creative on a bass, I guess, because it's a little more minimal and it's kind of just, it suits my like kind of will to make music at this point in terms of like what I want to create. So yeah, that song, I fucking love that song. The People, again, very, very monotonous, repetitive song. Has this really kind of, I don't know if it's very wall of sound type of music for them in that song. Quite a Charade is just equally as good as Run and Escape, and I just love those songs. Again, bass driven, completely groovy. I just love it. Then the last song's pretty interesting, The Wheel. A very churning kind of song. It's very repetitive. Yeah, it's just a pretty fucking good album. I would say this is just as good as the first album. Yeah, so 8.5 out of 10. Great, great album. And then after that, they released in 2021 Super Inertia, which is a very, very, very good album. It's a little bit different. It's a little more, I guess, structured than their previous albums. It just feels a lot less improvisational and kind of more structured, which is, it's cool. You know, that's what you do as musicians. You kind of grow, you know, but it's hard to say what my favorite from that would be. I almost want to like, because it's between this, the one I just mentioned before, Compromat, and the first album, and they're all 8.5s out of 10, in the sense that like when they're fucking good, they're really, really, really fucking good. The problem is that during the album, at certain times, there's points where either the songs drag on or it's kind of just not as interesting as like the high points. So case in point, like the last song, Mexicali Calexico, the last song on this album, it's a little bloated. Like, I like the idea, it's very like high energy and like this and that, but I don't know if it needs to be like 15 minutes long or whatever the fuck it is. But no, I mean, like, Solid Damp is such a good song. Station Europa, Super Inertia, even A House Full of Garbage, which is easily the most, as they said, most like poppy song they've ever written. But then the last song is like 15 minutes and it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's not bad, but it's also just like, it would have been so much cooler to just end it on like a concise note. Like, I don't know. It just seems bloated. But anyway, so in that sense, it's hard to give these past, the ones I mentioned beforehand, like above an 8.5. But like I said, when they're really good, they are really, really fucking good, to the point like there's some of my favorite songs like in the past like 5-6 years. So yeah, another 8.5 out of 10. Apart from this, they don't really have too much. They have 3 live albums, the first of which is really good. And yeah, aside from that, they actually fucking went on hiatus last year, which sucks. But yeah, they're one of the best in the psych rock genre, krautrock, space rock, any of that. So definitely check out their music if you're interested in any of those genres. You won't be disappointed. A great band, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.